Last time, the Saiyans arrived on Earth, and it was a pretty tough fought battle. In the end, Ten and Piccolo were killed. Along with everything else going on, it was more than enough for Goku to finally transform into the Super Saiyan of legend, easily defeating Vegeta and Nappa. But where will he go from here? We'll see all that and more in this part 4 of What If Raditz Took Gohan. Vegeta and Nappa will wake up not long after, with Nappa badly being injured, still missing an eye and all. Just to be safe too, their tails have been removed. Krillin and Goku were both considering killing these two, but they couldn't, and there's a very specific reason for that. Vegeta then tries to bargain with Goku too. First of all, he's astounded to see that he became the Super Saiyan. That's great, that's exactly what they needed. But not just that, they have something that Goku can use. They know where Gohan is, and if they live, then they'll be able to show him. They're not going to be able to find him otherwise, and he knows he has that bargaining chip, and that's part of the reason Goku and Krillin let them live. It is true, they're the only ones that can help lead them to Gohan. But now they have even more issues. Piccolo and Ten are dead too, as well as Kame because of his link to Piccolo. 3 of their friends are dead and can't be brought back because there's no Dragon Balls, and Gohan, he's missing. Luckily, it sounds like he's still alive, but they don't know for sure. Vegeta tells Goku they need to use his power. They want him to help defeat Frieza. He's the Super Saiyan. And that at least explains to Goku what happened to him. And Frieza's the one leading that army, the same one that helped kidnap Gohan. It was the fault of these Saiyans and Raditz. But now, Gohan's in Frieza's hands. So they might actually have some sort of common goal here. After what the Saiyans did, he hates the idea of teaming up with them. They took Gohan, and Goku was sent on this chase for a while now. Now they've come to Earth, come to his home, and killed his friends. He doesn't want to work with them, but they have what he needs. They know where Gohan could be, and where Frieza could be for that matter, because those two are together probably. Last they checked, Zarbon and Dodoria were watching over Raditz and Gohan, so they should just be wherever those two are, right? Vegeta and Nappa will lead Goku to Frieza, but he has to remember too, he's probably gonna have to fight Frieza if he does that. Which is a win-win because the Saiyans get rid of Frieza, and Goku gets Gohan back. Vegeta and Nappa even try to contact Raditz, showing that they're telling the truth. The scouter's ringing, but there's no answer. They try again, and there's still nothing. It seems like his scouter is just out of service for some reason. And Goku asks what's going on, getting even more frustrated because it sounds like there's some sort of issue that they don't know about. Vegeta puts it bluntly, Raditz is probably dead. They can't get any word from his scouter, which means it was probably destroyed. This doesn't guarantee that he's dead, but it's likely. Goku tries to keep his cool too. They don't even know where Raditz and Gohan are now, but at least Vegeta and Nappa will have some sort of idea. And this makes Goku even more concerned too, because what if that means Gohan's hurt too? Or worse, dead. If Raditz died, wouldn't Gohan have two? They can't know for sure what happened. It could be nothing, maybe his scouter just broke. But Vegeta does mention the worst case. Nappa does mention another thing. Kakarot's strong. They still don't know if it's going to be enough to defeat Frieza though. Even with the Super Saiyan form, maybe it is enough, but it's hard to say because they don't know the extent of Frieza's power. Goku doesn't want to head out right away, but they're right. They should be really prepared, especially with this new power in hand. Goku should learn how to use it better and see if he can gain more strength from it. And reluctantly, they do help Vegeta and Nappa heal because again, they do need their help. And Goku knows Vegeta and Nappa will keep their word. Krillin's kinda concerned about this, but gets why they have to spare them because they need the info. And Goku reminds Krillin too, if there is an issue, they know what Goku's power's like. They know he can't be beat now. They'll find Gohan, and then the Saiyans will be out of their hair. And if the Saiyans do attempt something, he won't hesitate to kill them next time. The two are healed with Senzu beans, and Nappa's eye even comes back too. Amazing him. It was instant, and it's not like the healing pots could do this that quickly. Vegeta's just as astounded. They start programming the ship trying to find the Frieza Force base. At least one of them that they expect Gohan's on. And while Vegeta and Nappa are busy with that, King Kai gets in contact with Goku. Obviously they don't want the Saiyans knowing about the Dragon Balls. And that's why King Kai's talking to him covertly. It seems like there is hope after all. He fills in Krillin too, and it's something that he was actually thinking about. King Kai tells them where to go for Namek. Just as Krillin theorized, they found out that Piccolo's a Namekian, which obviously means Kame is too. So if they could find where these Namekians came from, they can get another set of Dragon Balls. Well, it's kind of a long shot, but it's not impossible. And that would be perfect. They could bring back Ten and Piccolo with that. The only issue with that is they'd probably only have one wish with it. So they wouldn't be able to bring Gohan back just with that, but they could wait and just go back again later. That's even if these Dragon Balls exist though. That's perfect. Things are actually shaping up. Goku might finally get Gohan back, and even better, they'll bring back Ten, Piccolo, and Kame. But again, they don't want the Saiyans knowing. So Goku decides he's just going to go with Vegeta and Nappa alone. He said they don't really need help from Krillin or the others. That's why they're not going to come along. While they go aboard their ship, they could train too. There's the gravity training. And he does bring some Senzu beans along just in case. Vegeta and Nappa wonder why the others aren't coming, but he thinks it's good. They probably couldn't keep up anyways. Of course, he's underestimating their strength, and the real reason they're not coming is because there's going to be a second trip. Bulma also starts working on another ship, identical to the one that Goku's using right now. It's much easier to assemble a second time around. This one is going to be going for Namek, which actually seems like it might be a shorter trip. Krillin, Bulma, Yamcha, and Chaozu are going to go to Namek together. And even better, they just realized too, once they revive Piccolo and Kame, Shenron will be active. They can just come back to Earth and actually wish Gohan back. The more they think about this plan, the better it sounds. They're just hoping a set of Dragon Balls exist on Namek. And they're glad that King Kai helped them out. Krillin was thinking about if that could work, and now that they have directions from the planet, with King Kai confirming that there's other Namekians too, that's great. Goku's ship departs first. They don't want Vegeta and Nappa seeing the other ship leaving. Krillin and Chi-Chi go up to Goku wondering if he's going to be alright, especially with those two Saiyans alone. Krillin's a bit concerned but knows Goku can fight his way out of it if there is an issue. And Goku tells Chi-Chi this is the best way to get Gohan back, so he's going to do it. Of course she's still worried, but she knows this is necessary. He's even shown her the new power he's gotten. Goku does think this will be more than enough, especially after his training on the way to Frieza's base. He says his goodbyes as the ship departs. The trip is pretty awkward because Goku kinda sits there not talking to them, only focused on his training. Kakarot's such a weird Saiyan to them, and despite him being a good-hearted person unlike other Saiyans, they saw that Saiyan side of him on Earth. When angered and pushed to his limit, that's when that Saiyan blood boils up, but he still doesn't lose a sense of who he is. They even wonder what would have happened if Raditz ended up fighting Kakarot instead of just taking Gohan and leaving. He probably would have died. Although they are a bit annoyed too that their tails didn't seem to grow back when they took the Senzu. Well, Nappa's glad that he has two eyes again, and maybe the tail will grow back someday. They also did get a nice boost in power too from that fight, so while they've lost their ability to go grade 8, they still did get a bit stronger at least. Kakarot's definitely grown a lot too. Not only was he heavily injured by Vegeta and Nappa, but then there's the fact that he got Super Saiyan as well. But he reminds them of their promise. He wants to make sure they're not going to bother him after Frieza's dealt with. He's only doing this to get Gohan back. Fighting Frieza at least gets him to test his limits too, especially with how strong they're describing him as being. But that's so far in the back of his mind right now that it doesn't even really matter. The main focus is just getting Gohan back. And also getting rid of Frieza because he might potentially be a threat. The Saiyans came to Earth twice, so who knows if the Frieza Force will come next. Especially because they already went to a Frieza Force base and Piccolo killed a couple of their soldiers. This just seems incredibly necessary. Vegeta and Nappa say they have nothing else to do with Kakarot. Raditz might have told them in the first place that they wanted to take over planets with him, but really, they just needed a Saiyan to help them overthrow Frieza. They could do all the other stuff themselves. Once Kakarot's done with this, they have no reason to mess with him anymore. Although, Vegeta's obviously pretty annoyed that a low-class Saiyan surpassed him like that. But then Goku brings something up too. Where's Raditz? Like, he knows now that they have no contact with him, but where is he this entire time? Why wasn't he with them? Vegeta tries to contact Raditz once more, and still nothing. They had a scouter for Gohan too, but there's nothing on there either. That's one thing that Goku never found out, so they decide to tell him. Goku learns they basically abandoned Raditz, as well as Gohan. Which angers him even more because this probably could have been avoided if they kept an eye on the two. They basically just had Raditz babysit Gohan, and he has no clue what Raditz has been up to. Have they taken Gohan on missions? Vegeta says from what he knows, Raditz was just training him to be a stronger warrior. He never went on missions because, first of all, he probably wasn't suited for them, and also he continuously refused. That also makes Goku wonder what Frieza would have wanted with them. Nappa theorizes that it's the fact that he saw another Saiyan. He might have assumed that Gohan was Raditz's kid. He hopes Raditz was at least smart enough to cover that, and not give away that there's another Saiyan out there somewhere. They didn't even consider that, and that brings up another issue. If Frieza knows that there's another Saiyan out there. Of course, Raditz did cover for this, and he said that Gohan was his son. But they never even thought of that. Maybe Frieza knows of Goku's existence too, making this battle all the more necessary. But what actually did happen with Raditz and Gohan? Let's rewind just a little bit. Hours after Zarbon and Dodoria took Gohan, Raditz wakes up. He mutters to himself that it's going to take more than that to kill him. But he is injured, pretty badly too. And he did hear those last words that Zarbon said, telling him to be back at base if he survives. They're going to regret that. Raditz is able to claw his way to his ship, going back to the base that he was just at. His scouter is completely obliterated. He has no way of contacting Vegeta and Nappa right now, nor does he know where Gohan is. He'll have to get another one at the base, but even then, it's going to be a newer model scouter and it probably won't have the data to contact Vegeta and Nappa with. He's truly isolated now. He does make it back to that same base he was at before with Gohan, healing up. He steps out of the healing pod, and he feels an immense amount of power surging throughout him. Could this be a run-of-the-mill Zenkai from getting that much damage? Could it be the anger overflowing within him? Probably the former, but Raditz has never felt power like this before. He's reinvigorated completely. If he sees Zarbon and Dodoria again, he'll kill them. He doesn't need to transform either. He could do this in base. He's angered beyond belief too. Not just at Zarbon, Dodoria, and Frieza, but Vegeta and Nappa as well. This is their fault. They left him and Gohan to rot. And to make things even worse, he realizes if they were here, they would have won against Zarbon and Dodoria. Vegeta alone probably could have done enough against them. Especially with how strong he's probably grown by now. Although Raditz wouldn't know for sure because he hasn't seen them in a while. Everyone's working against him. Frieza wants him dead. Zarbon and Dodoria want him dead. Vegeta and Nappa, they don't care about him. Even Gohan, the kid that he's forced to watch over, Gohan obviously just wants to leave. He almost killed Raditz before when he had the chance. But even with that, Gohan's probably the closest thing that Raditz has to an ally right now. But thankfully with his newfound strength, no one could stand up against him. All the other Frieza Force soldiers are nothing. Besides Frieza and Cold, the only other people that could challenge him are the Ginyu Force probably. But Raditz realized something now that he should have realized a while ago. He's got to work alone now. But he knows that defeating Frieza and overcoming these odds are impossible. And if anything were to happen, it's going to take a while to defeat Frieza. But he does remember one thing that Vegeta and Nappa were trying. They're trying to research the power of ancient Saiyans and such. They didn't get many leads and they probably thought it was nothing. But Raditz wonders if this could help him. Maybe it could lead him to the legend of the Super Saiyan, or something else even. While he was stuck here raising some kid hoping he would grow strong, they were briefly looking to other things too. Raditz wonders if this will lead anywhere. maybe it could bring him to something pretty interesting. Maybe it could lead to him defeating Frieza. He doesn't go for it right now. For the time being, he has to plan what he's got to do next. But this is going to be his next course of action once he's ready. Back to Goku's ship, they're drifting through space. They're almost at Frieza's base now. They've been training a lot on the way there. Even Vegeta and Nappa have done some gravity training as well. And Goku hopes this is the last trip he'll have to make. He's annoyed going back and forth. He just wants to see Gohan again. And he's working on utilizing Super Saiyan better, with Vegeta and Nappa even studying the form too. And this trip did give them a lot of time to train. It took a few weeks to get there. And they're on the last day of the journey. Let's even cover some power levels right now. Goku has seen a massive boost in power. They didn't leave Earth immediately and have done some training on there. Plus he got really badly injured in the last fight, and they've done more training on the ship going to Frieza's base. And with how intense he could do the gravity training now, especially in Super Saiyan, it's going to be a pretty big boost, but we'll put him at 3 million. Pretty much exactly where he was after the battle with Ginyu in the main story. This applies to Vegeta and Nappa too. Although it's not as intense for Vegeta because he wasn't as injured as Nappa, for example. Or Goku for that matter. Remember, Goku basically got all his bones crushed. For Vegeta, after all the training in the Zenkai, we'll put him at about 250k. And behind him is actually Raditz. Raditz of course didn't have the benefit of gravity training, but now he's at a solid 200,000 for his power, having nearly died once more, being much more gravely injured than Vegeta or Nappa were, although he's completely separate from them right now. And as for Nappa, after the Zenkai and the training, I think it's fair to put him about 130k. Just as they're hours away from the base, Krillin's group makes contact with Goku. They have some bad news and some good news. The bad news is, the Dragon Balls can only revive one person at a time. Well, that's fine, they'll just use that to revive Piccolo then, and then that way they can get the Dragon Balls back. But Krillin says Goku didn't let him finish. There's some really good news. First of all, the planet's safe, and they did get the Dragon Balls too, so that's really good news. Guru did consider them worthy in their cause and helped them out. But the really good news is, they have 3 wishes, which is perfect. They need 1 wish to revive Piccolo and Kame because reviving one revives the other. Another wish could revive 10. And the 3rd wish, bring Gohan back home. Goku's elated. That's way better than they could have hoped for. He tells them to make the wishes now. He'll be fine. His ship is near Frieza's base, but they could just turn around if they need. Obviously Vegeta and Nappa don't hear this conversation, and Goku knows they're not going to agree with that, but he's going to do it anyways. And he listens in as Krillin makes the wishes. Zarbon and Dodoria have watch over Gohan right now, with Frieza not too far away. And Zarbon watches in disbelief as Gohan just disappears. There's a flash of light and he's gone. Frieza hears the commotion and asks what the hell happened. They look through everything on the base. Their scouters can't pick him up. All the cameras, they don't show anything. How did he escape? And where did he even go to? Meanwhile, back on Earth, Gohan just randomly appears back there. He has no clue of what happened, but this is home. He could tell it is. Especially because he's sent right back to Chi-Chi actually. With her and Ox King absolutely elated to see Gohan again. They're in the same amount of disbelief, and then they hear what happened later on as Krillin contacts them too. But also there's a knock at the door at Chi-Chi's house, with Ten and Piccolo showing up. They're back, and they see Gohan too. It's over. They finally did it. Gohan's here and Krillin's group saved them. Goku breathes a sigh of relief. Now all he needs to do is go home. But Vegeta and Nappa then notice something outside of the ship. There's some other Frieza Force ships surrounding them. With the base on the highest alert possible, they're looking everywhere to see how Gohan could have escaped. And while Goku was about to turn back and go home, obviously they can't do that at the moment. They've been spotted by Frieza's ships, and the troops escort them back to base. Vegeta and Nappa realize this is pretty bad, but Kakarot's there, the Super Saiyan. They'll be fine, and this could finally be done with. Goku just wants to go home. He knows Gohan's safe and all, but he also wants to see him again. And it's not done until he gets to see Gohan. Something falls out of Goku's pocket. He didn't even realize he still had it. He has the 4-star Dragon Ball, and it's back to normal too. It's not a big concern because they don't need to use the Dragon Balls right now. But it's nice for Goku to see this. It gives him hope. It's a symbol to him. Grandpa Gohan's Dragon Ball, and also Gohan's too. It's the one that he was wearing. And Goku holds onto it tight, stashing it back away in his pocket, keeping it for good luck. It's just like Krillin said. He'll be able to fight his way out of anything here. He'll finish this battle and simply take his ship back home. Their ship's forced to land, but Goku's in good spirits, now with a newfound determination. And for the first time in a while, that same happy and jovial nature that he has, it's finally returned again. For so long, he's just had negative emotions because Gohan's been gone. He's been worried, he's been angered, he's been sad, but he's back to his old self. Those emotions are wiped away. The only thing he's feeling is determination. He's about to step off the ship and he looks back at Nappa and Vegeta. He says they'll make this quick, with a smirk on his face and excitement for the battle ahead. This is where we'll leave off for now. What'd you guys think about this part? What's gonna happen next time? Leave any thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already, especially if you want to see more parts of the series, or if you just want to help out the channel. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.